Hey there YouTube, this is SJM4306 back with another video just in time. I'm timing this specifically for the release of the Virtual Boy. This is a Nintendo Virtual Boy, which is actually a pretty decently rare, unpopular console that they released after I believe after the Game Boy Pocket, maybe even. Yeah, this was like supposed to be the successor, sort of a stopgap between that and like the Game Boy Color, and it tanked. So it did not do well, did not sell well. There's only a handful of games released, and it was released in Japan on July 21st, 1995, making this a 30-year-old console, which is insane. And in North America, it was released August 14th of 95. So yeah, this is the 30th anniversary, and I thought, what better time to take a look at this console and try to fix it. This was very kindly sent in by a viewer for repair, and he included quite a number of games as well as everything necessary to run it. You need the controller, you need the AC adapter, or you can run off like 6 or 8 AA batteries, but that's a pain, so I got the AC adapter, and I 3D printed a mount to fix it onto this flex arm because the stand that it comes with is absolute trash. So anywho, let's get into the video and try and fix this guy up, and hopefully I can get this running well enough in order to demo some of the games. So I wanted to demo this particular specimen has the original box, which is insane. So I wanted to actually just go through this because this is very mid-90s style, sort of early mid-90s in terms of like the neon colors and whatnot, and they're clearly capitalizing on, you know, the virtual reality aspect of the Virtual Boy with the drop shadow kind of effect and whatnot. And yeah, this specifically, I saw there's a couple different box models, I believe at least 2 or 3, and I'm not sure which one this is in particular, if this is like a later model or an earlier one. But here you can see there's a pack-in title, Mario's Tennis, included with this, and it came with 6 AA batteries, so hopefully those aren't in here. I've already taken the headset, the controller, the AC adapter out of the box. But we can go around here. Higher resolution 3D graphics. That's pretty funny. Digital stereo sound, 32-bit RISC processor. And they give you an eye advisory. Basically, if you're a little kid, don't use this because it could blind you. It blinded a lot of people, apparently. There are many stories of like the red coloring kind of destroying your red vision if you use this for too long and didn't rest your eyes and whatnot. Anywho, I've already started opening this. I'm going to be very, very careful. The model number is View SRA01 USA 1. So this might be an early revision then, unless if that's the same throughout the release. I'm trying to open this one-handed without damaging. I'm going to put down the camera. I do not want to damage any of the cardboard here. So I also wanted to add, it actually has like a purchase date sort of thing. No one wrote anything in there. And this particular one, this is the serial number, etc., etc. This is the proof of purchase sticker. And yeah, I don't think there's anything specifically on the other side. Yeah, it's just like repeated. We'll take a look. I'll flip it over in a sec. But yeah. We have the mounting bracket and stand. This one is broken, however. Yeah, I can see right there it's cracked. And one of the legs is loose because of that. Yeah, this is almost definitely an afterthought. They realized they made this big heavy thing that you can't really strap to your face, and like, oh, we need to actually make a stand for it. So they threw this together. I mean, it's not cheaply made, but it's not great design-wise either. Yeah, it is like metal, though. I will give them props for that, except for the most important part that takes like all the load is plastic, so that's not so great. And it has this sort of clamp mechanism that opens up, and one of these like twist lock things. Yeah. I believe he also included So I 3D printed this for him, which is a mount. It's basically the same thing as this, except for it's the plastic's slightly springy, so it clips on, but you kind of can't remove it so great. I printed 2 of these because one of these I kind of messed up. I forgot to add support. And he sent in, let's see, and the owner sent in this dual color 3D print to replace this broken plastic piece there. And yeah, so I'm just going to stick that on there. That should be pretty quick. It's just 2 screws, probably self-tapping into this plastic, just so that this original piece does not, permanently break. And yeah, so that's pretty much everything in the box. Let's flip it over and see if there's anything on the bottom. Okay, there's a lot of stuff on the bottom of the box. It has several of the games. Red Alarm, which is like a space shooter, it looks like. Telero Boxer, I don't know how to pronounce that. It's a like a boxing kind of game. I don't know how to explain it, but you're robots. You're giant robots, and you box each other. That's it. A Galactic Pinball, pretty obvious what that is. Mario Clash is, I don't platformer, I don't know. It says coming soon, run through, jump through 3 dimensions of virtual play. So maybe some kind of platformer, I have no idea. And also, by the way, I don't know if any of the coming soon games ever actually got to release. I know these definitely have released. I've never heard of Mario Clash and Wario Cruise, so these might never have actually released. And so yeah, and Wario Cruise is help Wario escape from an underground world, collect a bag of gold. Sure, whatevs. This was apparently a separate thing you had to buy, and the owner did send this over so I could actually use this to test. Otherwise, I would have had to scrounge up a bunch of AA batteries, which would have been annoying. And yeah, they're just showing off the main features. The controller, it has 2 D-pads, interestingly enough, because you're controlling things in 3D. So I guess one is like up, down, left, right, and the other is like the depth control. I don't know how to explain it. Anywho, I've never actually played any of these games, so it'll be a learning experience for me. And yeah, like it said, it did come with Mario Tennis, so that'll be pretty cool to see. Sturdy stand. Not so sturdy anymore after like 30 plus years. Yeah, stereo speakers, has a headphone jack, dramatic widescreen game vision, dramatic 3D effects created with high-resolution LED optics. I mean, that it does use LEDs. It scans them with a mirror that oscillates. The LEDs are just a singular line, which is quite interesting. And yeah, just another warning that it'll blind little kids. Valuable limited warranty. Made in Japan, obviously. Got the original Nintendo seal quality and whatnot, and yeah, that appears to be it. So we've looked at everything in and on the box. Let's go and take a look at the unit itself. Okay, and here we are. I removed the original cracked plastic on the front there, and yeah, I believe this is just ABS. So I'm hoping that this was printed in ABS as well. Just so that it stands a better chance. PLA will fatigue over time. So generally speaking, you want to use ABS when you can, whenever it's from a thing that was originally injection molded in ABS, just so that it has a good chance of lasting a long time. Anywho, this looks actually pretty nice. It looks the part. It was easy to unscrew these, and yeah, it was you had to kind of self-tap by screwing it in carefully. There are these little nubs in the metal backing that kind of rub against the plastic legs to lock them into place once you get them out far enough. And but yeah, pretty simple. Yeah, this was, I think, one of the biggest complaints that everyone had about the Virtual Boy was the stand sucked, which is why the adjustable microphone boom arm is honestly just a better overall mounting method, because you can adjust the height and the exact position really easily, as opposed to this where you're limited to a fixed height and you just move the whole thing around if you want to change the positioning, which is very meh. Anywho. So here we go. I 3D printed this little plastic piece that normally the stand would clip onto. There's like sort of a C-shaped bracket sort of thing. But I 3D printed this out of PLA, and yeah, it just sort of sits in there and it holds it. It clips on, but I'm not really sure how to remove it, so I'm just gonna leave that on right now. Because yeah, you really do need some sort of stand or something to actually prop this up. It's kind of big, heavy, awkward, and yeah, anywho. You can see the mic stand. I have it situated so that you can kind of position it, rotate it, control pretty much everything about its position, and it just clamps onto the side of the desk here, and that's just holding that on. This actually works pretty well, I think. I'm probably going to print some extras of these. I'm not sure how strong this is. Definitely print it in like a high infill just so it doesn't snap immediately when you go to clip it on. But yeah, it seems to be holding just fine right now. I have it plugged in. I have the controller in. I have, if I go around to the other side, I have a cartridge inserted, and gonna have to use my right hand. Give me one sec. Okay, didn't want to accidentally like drop the cart or something, because yeah, these are pretty hard to find and rare and expensive. Anyway, here's the cart, Wario Land, which is one of like the better games, I guess, in the number of games that were released. I think there were only like 10 or 20 games released like worldwide, and the US only got maybe like half of those. I could be off on those numbers, but yeah, it's not like they got a lot of games for this console. But yeah, you could see, as opposed to like the Game Boy cart, which has like a card edge connector, this has more similar to like a compact flash card or PCIe card. It has this this pin grid. If I can just focus, there you go. Yeah, you can see pins go into this this socket, and that's how that works. And interestingly enough, it's a pretty flat cartridge, but it goes with the label up, but you can't see the label while it's inserted, obviously, because it's covered. So yeah, it just sort of clicks in there, not super definitively, but I mean, it's in there. And you will need either, I think it's 6 AA batteries, or this AC adapter kind of doohickey here. Yeah, this whole thing is interesting. This is like a battery carrier adapter thingy that replaces the battery contacts with a DC plug. I'm not going to remove that. And it has like a little flap to cover it so that you can power the system off an AC adapter, which I've plugged into the wall right now. There's an on-off switch here, and then you have 2 D-pads, a select start, a B, and an A. And you also have like a shoulder button, but it's mounted on the bottom rather than the top, because that's sort of more ergonomic. And yeah, the handles are like these weird, kind of thin, but like they have your finger moldings in. It's like not uncomfortable, at least for my size of hand. And yeah, let's just switch it on and see what it does. So I took off the eye shroud, which is over here, just to try to get a better view. And when I turn this on, you might be able to see right there, there's like a slightly strobing kind of red light on the left eyepiece. On the right eyepiece, we are getting kind of similar, but I am getting some text, but you could see it's flickering. So half the image is formed correctly, and then the other half not. So clearly it is booting a game. The left eyepiece, you got nothing pretty much. It's only the right eyepiece. If I focus in, there you go. This is obviously like the main warning screen, so yeah, there you go. You can see it's like corrupting the image, and I guess, yeah, I just heard some audio, so it is booting the game. There we go. The audio volume control is in the front bottom here. If I go here, there's a headphone jack and there's volume. So when I tested this before, it wasn't booting the game. I think I just didn't have the cart inserted all the way or like nicely enough. But yeah, you could see one eye sort of works, but it's like super corrupted. So I'm gonna guess it's the ribbons, because one eye works, the other one doesn't work at all. And the way these work, I believe they're like it's like a serial shift register kind of single line, and then it rotates, it flickers a mirror in order to draw out the image. So clearly something's happening on this side of like the mirror assembly sort of thing, because it looks great from the one side, the left-hand side, but clearly the right is not so happy. So I don't know what's going on. It's probably ribbon related. So let's get into this, get this apart, and look at the mechanical, well, I guess it's an electromechanical assembly, and see what it looks like, if there's anything obvious, and how we could possibly resolder the ribbons to try to get this to work fully. Okay, so we have it off here. You can see the mic arm thing. I had to screw this in pretty tight because the 3D model that I found, you have to cut the thread into the plastic part. They're not modeled in. So I had to stick this metal part in a vise and kind of manhandle and rotate this plastic bit, obviously not connected to the console yet, to get it in there tightly enough. And yeah, I'm just going to leave it that way right now because I don't want to break the plastic or anything by trying to force this off right now. But yeah, you can see, as I mentioned before, volume control, headphone input. We have the cart here, obviously. We have like an external port. I'm guessing this is like a Game Link port. So conceivably, if you had more than, like you had a friend with the headset, you could link them together to play multiplayer games or something. I don't know if that ever came to being, because as far as I'm aware, this was so unpopular that Nintendo pretty much like very shortly after release canned it, and they were on sale for pretty cheap at retailers, just trying to get rid of the stock that they had. We have the controller port here, which has some schmutz in it. It's a 6-pin port, so obviously something like serial. And this is the other side of that cable. It looks very much like an NES controller port, but clearly it is not. We have like a little ferrite bead on the cord there too. Yeah, we have little rubber kind of grips on the side here. I think they're mostly just kind of aesthetic. I guess you can kind of grab them or whatever. But it's sort of like a big periscope sort of thing. And the eye mount has like this cutout and these little tabs that slot into it, and that's how you remove and put on the eye guard, or the face guard, or whatever you want to call it. It's a little bit dusty, a little bit scratched, unfortunately. That may or may not polish out. I'm just going to try to fix it first, and then we'll worry about aesthetics. The one lens is actually pretty clean. The other one is quite a bit scuffed. That's rather unfortunate. Little spot for your nose there. And it looks like for the most part, we have these like GameCube style security screws, which I do have a security bit. I hope that it's the right size. We'll see. I have a couple security bits because I used to repair and mod GameCubes back in the day. So yeah, but it is pretty, I guess, large but stylish. For back in the day. It definitely fits like the 90s aesthetic. We have a focus slider here and a IPD adjustment, so that'll change the center of kind of where the displays are pointing, or whatever you want to call it, if your eyes are nearer or farther apart. Let me grab that security bit, and hopefully it's the right size, and we'll get to all the visible screws and get this guy apart. Okay, so good thing is this driver bit is the perfect size. I believe I used this for like some of the Game Boy carts, I think, use security bits, and so this is the same size apparently, so that's perfect. I did want to note that the serial number is here at the bottom, and there's this lovely I've seen this on Game Boys and N64s and pretty much all their consoles in the 90s and whatnot. Has the Nintendo Authorized Repair Center phone number with Mario and a screwdriver. And this is still active today. You can still call them and ask them for like repair advice and whatnot, or whatever. Maybe not advice, but you can request repairs from them. Anyway, I removed the 6 screws. Looks like the 2 inside of these like middle ones are a different size, so I think they're all the same size. Never mind. So yeah, just remove that, and this comes right off. And set this to the side, and then we can actually see the cartridge. Interestingly enough, it looks like, yeah, There is a shroud to protect the pins. You can just about see if I poke in. Where my fingers are, if I were to take something and carefully push in, you could see pins starting to appear. And so that's to keep dust out and whatnot, even though there is a cover on it and it's highly unlikely for dust to go in horizontally. But that is an interesting attention to detail. Possibly something that they learned from like the NES, which had tons of problems with the cart connectors and whatnot. So, anywho, yeah, it didn't really get us access to anything inside. So I'm gonna have to take out pretty much all the sunken screws inside there. Just gonna punch out and do that real quick. There's one in the nose piece too. Want to be particularly careful. It looks like the plastic's real thin here, so I'm gonna go nice and slow and do a little bit at a time, so I don't crack any plastic. Yeah, there's no clips or anything, so I guess it was just stuck on, yeah, with some dirt or dust that's got in the crevice there. Yeah, the plastic, we could see there's a molding date here. It says 1995, has 1 through 9 and then XYZ. And then this one says, it might be helpful if I punched in. This one has 0 through 3, and then this has 0 through 9. Huh, interesting. So I'm sure there's some code for that. This might be like the 8th, yeah, because it's 9, 10, 11, 12. This is probably the month. So it is August 1995, and then this is probably like the day. Probably like the 31st. And we have the speakers on the side, which, huh. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, there are little holes. Even though the speakers are mounted axially, they fire out the side. They bounce off the plastic inside here. And that's right on the other side of this rubber molding kind of bit. And those just slide into the plastic. There are, everywhere that there's like a plastic post that the main metal frame sits on, there's like little grommets, because this is electromechanical, so it'll vibrate a little bit, and it'll be affected by vibrations that are transferred through the plastic case. So that's just to decouple that. We have the plastic lenses, which I'm going to slide out of the way just to keep them safe off to the side. We have separate boards for the volume and headphone jack and the controller and expansion or multiplayer port, whatever you want to call it. We have the ribbons in question, and yeah, you could see something's going on. It looks like there's some decoloration on that. And the end, so this is why these ribbons fail. They used adhesive, like electrically conductive adhesive, to glue between the actual LCD and the ribbon, and that goes bad over time. And yeah, the other end is just a regular, like kind of, I want to say this is not a ZIF connector. There's no locking bar or anything as far as I can see. I think it's just friction fitted in, so it's pressed in and friction fit on that side, but it's glued on this side, and that glue goes bad over time. And so I bet you we can try firing this up, and I can try applying light pressure on the ribbon, and you might be able to see LEDs start coming on. Which, yeah, that might actually be interesting to see, but I'm going to have to do it in this awkward position on the... yeah, give me 1 sec to get that set up. Okay, so we are plugged in. I have the cart inserted because I'm not sure if it'll actually boot up without a cart inserted. And you can see the mirrors. I took off the lenses, but yeah, you can see they start vibrating. The displays are fixed clearly, and yeah, I can see the image on the right is being projected. If I press on the ribbon, I don't see anything on the, I mean, it doesn't help that I have the lights on. Let me shut off the lights for a sec. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you could see on the right there is a partial image. That's still messed up, but I'm pressing lightly on the ribbon on the left-hand display, and I can't see anything, so I'm gonna guess it's gonna need like more than just pressing. It's gonna need some heat. This is lighting up. What? Why are you? Ah, that's like a DC. Yeah, DC board. You could see there. It says V8 DC VUE, and there's an LED indicator that they put like black marker on top of. It's actually conformally coated, it looks like, but they partially covered up that LED, but you can see it just about still glows through the conformal coating, so that tells you that that board works fine. Obviously it does. But yeah, I'm just going to shut this off. Just looking at this, we have the main chip here. It's VUE. I guess that's the product code, sort of the development code for the Virtual Boy, VUE. GameCube was Dolphin, so DOL, all the chips were marked, and Wii was REV, Revolution. So that's like the development name that they gave these consoles. So this was apparently VUE. It says VPU, so that's like some sort of video processing unit. It looks like a main sort of chip there because it's quite large. And here's NVC VUE, and all the chips are marked and labeled Nintendo. And this is clearly some sort of memory chip. I'm going to guess it's like RAM. So yeah, we have ribbons going across all the parts. I think we don't have to completely dismantle, and I'd rather not completely dismantle this down because this optical assembly part is going to be quite delicate, and I don't want to get any fingerprints or anything on them. There is a little dust I can see, so I'm going to take some compressed air and just clean that out. Yeah, the way these actually work is, if I can zoom in, so you could just about see, here is like a transformer core, it looks like. It's a laminate core, and there's like a coil of wire around there. The mirror, I believe, has a magnet on the back. I might have gotten this backwards, but one side is a coil of wire, the other side is a magnet, and it sends an AC current to the coil in order to energize and like oscillate the magnet. And there is like a positional sensor, so it knows like the period of frequency of the mirror, so it can try to match the driving magnetic field in order to get a certain frequency of oscillation out of the mirror. But yeah, it's like pretty simple, but yeah, it clearly works. We can see just about here there is a lens, like quite a large convex lens, and that is for focusing the LED array because the LED array is tiny. We'll take one of these displays out in a sec, probably the left one, because it doesn't work at all. So we'll take this off and I'll show you the actual LEDs themselves, and maybe it powered up with the display removed from the optical assembly so you guys can see what it looks like. It's literally just a line of LEDs, and it rasterizes the image by kind of scanning it across with that mirror, so it does like left to right, and it'll draw out the full image that way, and it modulates all the LEDs to light up in the correct sequence. It's actually pretty amazing, and even by today's standard, like that's pretty impressive. So yeah, I think what I'm going to do is I don't want to remove this whole thing. There's too much risk to the mechanism. As much as I'd like to see the inside of this, this is a repair for someone else's Virtual Boy. I promise, if I ever get my own one of these, I will completely tear it apart and show you guys everything about it, but I don't want to risk someone else's unit. So we have 2 little screws here, and it looks like there's a grounding strap for the one display. So I don't, let's see, what's the safest way of doing this? Just gonna go in here, move the speaker to the side so I don't risk damaging anything. And, oh yeah, these are, yeah, they slide back and forth. Wrong one. So this does have adjustment. You can see it slides everything up, in and out for your IPD adjustment, including the mirrors, everything. So I'm gonna put it into the smallest position so that they're already kind of close together, and carefully unscrew one of the ribbons. Okay, and that's that, and we should be able to just lift this out and flip this over, and that is the LED board. Punch in on that, and yeah, you could see I'm not going to touch it. I think there is a protective layer on top, some sort of like glass or something, but I'm still not going to touch it. That's going to mess up. I don't know if there is any protection for the bond wire, so conceivably touching it could destroy all the connections, so I'm just not even going to risk that. There is sort of this, oh yeah, it is. There is a plastic cover that goes over this, but all the features inside there are on the board, like directly bonded to the board. There is like a little plastic window that they put over that, so that is good. But if I don't want to get any fingerprints on there anyway, so I'm just going to not touch anywhere near that area. But yeah, I might try to get this under a microscope because this would be fascinating to look at. But yeah, it's a singular line of LEDs that goes to the full height of the virtual display, so to speak. And it scans out the horizontal using the mirrors. There is like a little bit of silicone they put to try to prevent the ribbon from like pulling away, but yeah, that's sort of meh. If I fire this up, well, this display doesn't work anyway, so you wouldn't be able to see anything per se. Let's just pull this display out, and we can look at the contacts. They look okay to me. I don't see anything inherently wrong. There's like some kind of gouge or something in there, but that's on like a nice thick tray, so I don't think that would affect anything. It looked a little funny here, like there's some kind of corrosion going on, because you could see that's the bare copper. This is tinned on this side. So this side looks perfectly fine, but it's like kind of corroded there. If that corrosion goes deep enough and cuts all the way through some of these conductors, it could prevent it from working, so it might need new ribbons. We're going to try just maybe trying to reflow some of these connections with a little bit of heat and pressure, but we might end up needing just a new ribbon, unfortunately. So that's the left eye. I'm going to do the same exact thing and get the right eye off, and try to show you guys what it looks like when the display assembly is removed and you're just looking at the actual bare LEDs flickering without any kind of horizontal strobing effect. The mirrors are flickering. The LEDs don't seem to be illuminating. I wonder if there's some sort of sensor that this won't work, or if like the grounding strap literally provides the ground path for the connection. Because yeah, I'm not seeing. Yeah, I would expect to see these light up. I wonder if that ground connection that goes on the corner, that provides the actual grounding for the entire display. You might not be able to actually power up these displays with it not seated properly, unfortunately. So yeah, I was hoping that would have been a cool shot if we could see it working with the display removed. But that clearly did not work at all. So we're just going to carefully remove this display, and this one is just an exact mirror of the other display. No, it's actually not. It's the same display, but just twice. That was much smarter. But yeah, you can see they're just rotated 180 degrees and kind of offset in the plastic mounts. So yeah, you can see the two displays. This one worked. The left one doesn't work at all. I mean, looking at this ribbon, it looks kind of a bit pitted on this side as well, but clearly some of the connections worked, or at least partially. I don't know why, but clearly both ribbons are intermittent. So I'm going to do a little bit of research on what the process is for reflowing these ribbons. and or if that's not possible, I mean, we'll give it a try. I'll reflow them. If that doesn't fix it, then we're looking at a replacement ribbon kit installation, which I believe last I checked those were about 30-ish bucks, which isn't too bad. It does require you to tear off the old ribbons, clean the pads really well, and resolder the new ribbons. And solder is going to hold a lot longer than the like the adhesive, the thermal adhesive that they used. So long term, that's probably going to be the way to go. I just want to see if I can get the original ribbons working properly. Give me 1 sec to get these displays maybe set up under the microscope. I want to take a closer look at it, as well as the adhesive contact area, to see if there's anything obvious of why it's not bonding properly or whatever. Okay, sorry about the handheld nature of this. I have this on my digital microscope, and you can see exactly how this is constructed. We have, let's get that maybe a little bit sharper on the focus. There we go. We have 2 rows of, I believe these are like, because there's not enough wires for like every single LED, because it's like 140 or 160 row, I guess it would be rows of LEDs. The LEDs are in the center here, and they go along the entire center, and there's sides, there's like a left and a right side pad that goes over, and there's like a high side and a low side driver, and I believe these are serial drivers, because there's only like a handful of inputs, and it drives like a ridiculous amount of LEDs. And there is like circuitry in there. It's kind of hard to see at this scale. We'll try zooming in a bit, but there is definitely like digital, or I don't know if it's digital or analog, maybe both, circuitry in there to actually like control the current to each LED, because it can, it does modulate multiple shades of gray, but you could probably do that with like pulse code modulation or pulse width modulation or something like that. But yeah, obviously there is some sort of control circuitry there, and it goes the entire length, and you can see the exposed gold pads where everything's bonded to. This is very fragile. If there weren't this plastic clear protective layer over it, this would be, you know, kind of at risk of being damaged. And yeah, that's basically it. I'm going to try taking this down maybe a little bit. Yeah, I think the actual LEDs are in the very center in this like zipper looking pattern. I think that's where the LEDs... Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. The dies might be like offset. I kind of wonder, did they like stagger them and offset them? Or are they in the center there? We can just about see, if I focus just right. Oops. This is very hard to focus on. Yeah, there's definitely like a ton of circuitry. It's all the same. It's just repeated over and over again. But on the top side and the bottom side is going to be similar in nature, but obviously different circuitry. But yeah, you could definitely probably tell if I could light this up while it's under the microscope, but I kind of don't have that capability, so looks like there's something trapped under there. I'm not going to try to clean that or anything, obviously, but something during manufacture got trapped under there on those gold wires, so just leave that be, though. But wow, look at that. I'll probably try and snap some high-res pics, and I'll include them at the end of the video, but that's beautiful. Okay, so we're back. Sorry for the noise in the background. I have the dehumidifier running. It's been raining a lot here, and my basement's been getting pretty humid. But anywho, so yeah, we're back. This is the left display that doesn't work at all. I'm going to start with this one because it already doesn't work at all. And so, what I'm going to actually do is try to... They do sell replacement like ribbons that you can solder to here and whatnot. They're not super expensive. I'm going to try fixing this one. I might actually just flip this aside over so that the bit that's sticking up there, it doesn't poke me while I'm trying to work. Yeah, so I have this on a clean, just like a paper envelope surface so that I don't scratch the lens or anything. It's on silicone, but just to keep it safe and clean, I'm gonna do it this way. we are going to try to solder. Basically, there's a layer of like non-conductive, like some sort of plastic that these ribbons are made from, and then there's a sheet of adhesive copper tape basically that is laminated to it, and then they etch the copper away to make the tracks, and then they stick another sheet of like the mylar material, whatever it is, polyamide, onto the top, and they bond them together to make the ribbon. So they expose, you know, the end of the pads here so that the metal is exposed, and then there's some sort of adhesive in between that only conducts in the z-axis, so that it, when they use like a hot bar, they can melt it and it'll connect the top of the copper traces to the copper traces on the board. And that's how this was manufactured. But over time, that adhesive, anisotropic, that's basically the fancy word, I think, for conducts only in the z-axis. That kind of adhesive breaks down over time, and it releases, preventing the connection from happening, basically. So one of the fixes is to just take your soldering iron and flux this all up, add a little bit of solder, and then melt back the top layer of polyamide, exposing the traces that are bonded to through the actual ribbon. And you can actually reflow all of them straight down and reconnect those using solder as opposed to adhesive, and that's a much more permanent way of attaching this. I'm gonna try it. I mean, there's nothing to lose. This already doesn't work. So if this doesn't work, then unfortunately we might have to actually go ahead and purchase the ribbon repair kit, which isn't super expensive, but I want to see if I could do this using all original parts. I want to try to keep it as stock as possible if I can. So I guess the best first step would be to add a tiny little bit of flux here. I say tiny, and I added kind of a ton. I have my iron up to about 700. I'm just gonna move some stuff so that I have proper clearance and whatnot. And I don't want quite that much solder, just a tiny bit of solder. And I'm gonna start, the first 3 traces I think aren't even connected to anything ribbon-wise. So I'm gonna start tinning some of these traces. And I'm sure I'm gonna create some shorts inadvertently at first. And I'm just gonna go along here and just tin everything that's exposed on the board itself. And then we'll worry about working our way up the ribbon. Periodically, I have to add a tiny bit of solder. In there, I think I've gotten everything. So here I'm going to start heating up parts of the ribbon. It's going to start melting it, of course, but also exposing those traces further up. And sorry if audio or video isn't so great with this. This is really hard to film, and also this is my first time doing this. So let's get this aligned and maybe get a slightly better angle on lighting. So that's as good as I'm going to be able to get it. I'm just holding top here of the ribbon. The stuff burning off, the gas, is just the flux, because I put quite a bit of flux on here. And
give everything a last pass. So I'm basically just burning and melting the ribbon away. I'm trying to get it to stick. Let's take a closer look at that. If I can just punch out. Yeah, I mean, it's dirty. Obviously, that's all the burnt plastic as well as some flux. So we are definitely going to clean that first off. Let me grab a new Q-tip. Okay, so cleaned it off just a little bit. And if it will focus, thank you very much. Yeah, I can see it looks like it did start melting the top part of the ribbon. And I'm gonna have to obviously, yeah, there you go. Let's get a bit more lighting on this. If this would like to cooperate. Yeah, so looks like it's doing it. Still a bunch of junk there. My camera's having a lot of trouble focusing on this. This is quite small. But yeah, looks like maybe I have to give this a couple more roundabouts. But it looks like it is sort of working. I have to go a little bit further up. On some of them I didn't quite get high enough to get to the traces. I'm going to do this off camera because I need to actually see what I'm doing. But it looks like this is working. So I'm going to work on this, and I guess then we can plug it in and test it after I get this sufficiently soldered. Okay, so I have both displays in here, and you can see exactly what I end up doing was I scraped away some of the ribbon, the top Mylar film, and I soldered them. You can see right there, and I ran solder all the way up through the exposed portions of the copper, and that reconnected every single trace on these ribbons. And I did that for both sides. One thing to note was even after doing that, and I checked with the multimeter that all the connections were correct and they were, they went through that solder joint. One thing to note is these, they're not ZIF connectors. These are friction fit connectors. I've noticed that if you wiggle the cable within them, the image kind of goes in and out. It's not that the image ever disappears, but it'll get lines in the display, you'll see. And so I kind of had to wiggle it to get it just right so that both displays display perfectly. And I'm probably going to put a little piece of tape there so that they don't move ever, because it seems to be that this part of the ribbon connection is okay now. It's this portion. So I might take these ribbons out, clean them really well, and then tape them down so that they don't move. Interesting thing I have seen, if one of these displays is sort of corrupted, it could affect this other one. So while wiggling this ribbon, sometimes this display will get some imperfections in it. So I have a feeling these are both on the same bus almost, and if you kind of mess with the signal on one while it's running, it'll affect the other one. So yeah, I did not expect that. I expected them to be completely independent. But yeah, I'm not really sure exactly how the data is sent to these displays, how they're chained. I don't believe that there are any service manuals available either. So yeah, I'm just guessing that somehow they're on the same bus or something like that. So if you corrupt data on one of them, it'll affect the other. But yeah, I'm just gonna get this all back together now. I'm happy enough with the soldering. You can see on this display too, I soldered as well. And probably just to be safe, I'll put a little bit of Kapton tape on the connections as well, just to make sure it doesn't, peel up or whatnot. But yeah, I think I'm good to go, and we'll get this set back up, put back together, and mounted so I can actually film. Unfortunately, I can see it in 3D. You guys will only be able to see one of the eyepieces because my camera only has, one lens that it films at a time. So unfortunately, you'll see it in just mono, but I can definitely see this in stereo.
So looking at this, you could see most of the lines work now. And this is the second reflow that I've done. There are some horizontal lines, which means some of the rows aren't actually conducting. So I need to go over this again, but this is almost fully fixed, it looks like. So yeah, I just need to probably, a couple of the connections are, yeah, you could see they're kind of corrupted. Every once in a while you'll see it. Yeah, but it's like mostly there. Oh, it is close, so I'm gonna keep doing this some more. Yeah, that strobing is some kind of connection issue, definitely. But yeah, we're getting there. Okay, we're back. I have it all together. I played tested a little bit of this Tetris game, and it seems to work just fine on both eyes. So I am pointing my camera. I have to have this in like a pro mode so I can focus it exactly. Otherwise, autofocus goes insane. And hopefully it doesn't flicker too much. It's really hard to capture these displays, but I'm going to switch it on. I have the audio on. I'm probably going to lower the audio pretty quick. You could see it does like a calibration at first to get until it gets the mirror oscillation at the right frequency, and you could see the image like stretched out horizontally and then synchronized and like snapped into place. And now it's pretty steady, and you can see there's no lines. All the pixels are working, and that's their logo. Each eye has different corners lit up. The left one has the other opposite. I'm looking at the right eye right now, so that's what those are. Sort of, I guess, like a calibration sort of thingy or whatever. And we'll just go in here. And here's the main title screen. I'm not amazing at this, and I'm probably gonna lower the volume now while I'm at it. I don't want a copyright strike or anything. Oh. Yeah, that's good enough. I am playing through the viewfinder effectively, and I couldn't get everything focused exactly right, but we'll try. This should be good enough. We'll play a little bit. I'm not gonna go ham on this. But yeah, I mean, it's Tetris. What do you expect? Let's try to, I'll go for a 4-bar. I'm not going to play a full game of this, even though I would love to. Yeah, we're going to go for a full Tetris, and then I'll stop. Oh, I almost screwed that one up. And then I'll stop, and we shall try a different game, because he sent in quite a number of games, and I'd like to get through at least some of them. Oh, I kind of messed up here. There we go, LP, or straight one. Yeah, I kind of screwed up, but whatever. Yeah, it is Tetris. It is kind of hard to see through the viewfinder if I have things lined up or not. I'm just sort of kind of guessing slightly. But there we go. Okay, well, you get the point. So that is the Tetris game. Oop, sorry. And let's see. I mean, the one that everyone else seems to agree on is one of the best games is Wario Land, Virtual Boy Wario Land. So let's just insert this as I move the camera and everything and mess up my focus. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what this automatic pause feature that keeps coming up, what that actually is. But yeah, like graphically, this looks really good. I have no idea where we are, what we're doing in the game so far. Okay, that's the jump. Can I... Ah. Okay, I got you. I'm sinking. I'm in some sort of quicksand. And I don't know if I can do anything here. I have no idea where... This is just a save file that was on here, so... Looks like you have to jump repeatedly to actually get out of there. Maybe I should try to get whatever the heck this is. I have no idea what this does. Nope. Charging doesn't seem to do anything. I have no idea what this is. I've never played this before, so... But graphically, like, this is very impressive. You can crawl backwards, too. Looks like I'm going through pipes. I played Wario on Game Boy, so it's not all too unfamiliar to me, the mechanics. I heard the 3D effect is really good. I'm probably going to try playing this on my own. But yeah, how do I go and can I go in the background? I have no idea. There's 2 D-pads, and I probably should have looked up how to actually play this. Yeah, it's just a pause screen. Guess these are like my items or something. Oh, I died. I mean, like, graphically, this game looks really good. Let's try another game. Let's try Mario Tennis, and I'm horrible at sports games, so you guys get to suffer through this. There we go. Let's do singles. I have no idea, so we'll... So we are playing tennis now. Ah, okay, swing, I see. I'm gonna suck at this, by the way. Apologies. See, I'm swinging too early. There we go. I actually returned one. But I think that was out. Did I get a point? No. He got a point. Okay. So... Oh, wow. Fault. There we go. In. Nice. There we go. In. Eat it. Oops. 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 See how bad I'm bad at sports games. Come on. I've got to play this not through a camera, because I bet you the 3D effects are real good. Oh, I messed that one up. Yeah, I stink. That's enough of that. Okay, let's see. Mario Clash. I have no idea what type of game this is. There we go. Wow, okay. Yeah, I wish I could get like the focus in just a little better or whatever. But it looks really cool. I can just about see through the left eyepiece. It's a bit overblown, unfortunately, through my camera. I just couldn't get it quite in focus and whatnot. But yeah, the graphics actually look really good. I can see all the pixels and whatnot. It's like super clear. Start. Level 1. Okay, so I cannot touch those. Got it. No. Damn it. I'm just gonna probably look with one eye through the left eyepiece and use that to play. Oh, you can't hit them. What's a hit for then? Let's try that again. That was horrible. So I guess I have to jump on the turtles, shell them, and do all that stuff. And let's see. Can I just let me start a new game? Okay, drop me in. Probably just wait a sec. Yeah, so. There we go, and then I guess I go through and I collect these. Oh, I still have the shell. Let's see, let's get both of these guys lined up. There we go. Technical bonus. Okay, so it's sort of like the original Mario Bros. Arcade game, but there's two levels, like two layers. There's a background and a foreground. Interesting. Yeah, there we go. Interesting, but yeah, let's see. The last game that he sent in is called Bound High. I have no idea. I've never even heard of this game. I've heard of most of the other ones, but I've never heard of Bound High. So let's insert this. There we go. Well, that logo looks quite cool. So you're some sort of ball? How's this working? Adventure, score attack, random game, pocket, and cushion. I have no idea what any of this means. Ah, so it has a password-based save system, it looks like. Just normal. I have no idea what this game is, so... Ah. Interesting. So I'm bouncing. And I fell. So there's a game that I played that's very similar like this, except for you're trying to like bounce upwards in like some sort of tower. Am I supposed to like land on these guys? Wow, this is quite hard to control. Yes, you are supposed to land on the guys. Oops. Yeah, the latch on this power supply keeps disconnecting if I lean too forward on it. So I'm gonna try not to do that. Let's see if there's like the random mode. Are there like other modes of gameplay? I'm hoping. Oops. Score attack, random game. And then we'll try, Oh, that was quick. So some blocks kind of disappear. Depending on like what color they are. So it's sort of like Breakout, but you're the ball. And I guess you're trying to make stuff disappear here and kill enemies. Wow, this is the longest I've survived. Yeah, I guess you gotta make all the enemies disappear. Maybe you have to make all the blocks disappear. Just like Breakout. This is gonna take quite a while, so that's enough of this. Can I exit? Just let me fall. Fall to my death. There. The graphics are quite good. I need to play this one like first person in 3D. Pocket and cushion, what is that? A high score kind of mode thing? Oh, you're trying to go into a hole? And you're timed. Okay, I gotcha. This is actually quite hard. Unless if I'm supposed to... Oh, no, I'm trying to bounce that ball in. Oh god, this is hard. Get out. There. There we go. Got it. Okay. This is interesting. This is sort of like mini golf or something almost. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I'm done playing on camera. I'm definitely gonna play like using the headset and try to see how it is to use. The color is coming kind of across as sort of a pink on camera here, but to my eyes, it's like a very deep, pure red. It's like early LED kind of color technology. I remember reading like an interview that they had with Gunpei Yokoi, and I think he really wanted to use like a different color LED, like white LEDs, because the original Game Boy screen, it was like green and black, but the Game Boy Pocket was like a pure black and white, and I think they wanted to replicate basically that, but in 3D. So if they had the technology of having like white LEDs, I think they probably would have preferred that. And it would have made the games look different, I think, to my eyes. I can definitely see how this red, after a while, could kind of mess with your vision sort of thing going on there. But yeah, it would be really cool to see this recreated with like modern RGB LEDs, because you could do like full color 3D games like this. But there's no point nowadays because you would just put dual OLED displays in here, just like pretty much all the other high-end VR displays just end up using OLEDs because they just look, the highest contrast, the best. Not super cheap, but yeah, at the time, I'm actually really impressed by this. Considering, this one, it looks like you have to like match the two symbols of the two balls. I could see how this could get very super complicated to play. But yeah, what was I saying? Oh, I was basically saying I'm actually really impressed by this as a console. It's actually quite advanced, given the fact it was released mid-90s. And it's a perfect time, honestly, for me to fix one of these, given that it's 30th anniversary. So that was really cool. I really appreciate the owner sending this guy in for repair. This is going right back to him in fully working order. And I'm really happy I was able to fix this guy. This was a good experience. It was very tedious fixing the ribbons. The way that they were bonded with like conductive adhesive is not great long term. And that's proven to be the case with other Nintendo consoles, like the original Game Boys, that have the exact same failure mode because their ribbons start to delaminate over time. And pretty much the fix for those is similar to this: heat and pressure. That's what it comes down to. But anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. This ended up being quite a long one, just because it took quite a while for me to fix this all. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this type of repair video and watching me suck at playing these games. I wish I could properly convey like the 3D aspect of this, but unfortunately, given the format and the limitations of just having a single camera filming, I'm not really able to properly show the displays, much less show them in 3D. But I'm going to continue playing this for a couple hours and see the 3D effect from my own eyes. But this is it for the video, so I will see you guys in the next repair. Bye.